Hello everybody, welcome to another Saturday Rebuild, and this time we are going to West Ham United. I think they're in need of much of a rebuild, being currently third from bottom in the Premiership. In their club history, they've had one Cup Winners' Cup in 1965, quite a long time ago. The FA Cup, last one in 1980. Charity Shield in 64. So silverware has been pretty much sparse as in the way as things with West Ham. As you can see, they've got £25 million budget as well. We are not going to be doing any transfers for this window, the first window, as we're using an updated transfer list as a 10th of September, which can be found on the fmscout.com website. And I think it's somebody called Notorious that has actually done the updates. And also, we have got an updated relegation and promotions as well. This is their preferred formation. They do like to go attacking a little bit as well. So, and the best 11 as well. They've got Antonio up front, Paqueta, Bowen, Fornals. They've got Declan Rice. They're probably their star player as well. Kurt Zouma, Sussex as well, Cresswell, Emerson, Kufal and Areola in goal. So like I say, the transfers have already been done. All those dated the 1st of July are these new transfers that have been brought in. Nev Ugard for 4.4 million. Cornet from Burnley, 12.75. Dawson from Watford, £2 million. Undisclosed for Flynn Downs. I'm sure some of these prices are wrong. We've done it on previous ones where the prices have been totally different, but there you go. As long as we got them in as well. Paqueta, £17 million. Did he come in for more than that? Kehrer as well from PSG. Wow, I didn't realise I had him as well. Kinnear from Rangers. Chelsea's Emerson, should I say. And Downs from Swansea. Undisclosed. There's quite a few of them. But and also they've got a few more down here as well. Why have they not been included in that section there? I don't know. But £500,000 Skamaka and Oko Flex as well from Celtic. So squad-wise, let's have a quick look. Let's quickly go through them. It's not relatively big, but it does. They do have a decent squad though. 3 goalkeepers: Fabianski, Randolph, and Areola as well. Defence, they've got Argard, Agbana, Kurt Zouma, which I think we're going to try and hold on to him if we can. At 26 years old, I don't think we should let him go, personally, even if he brings in more than £50 million. Craig Dawson, probably look to move on eventually. Ben Johnson, Kufal as well. And Declan Rice can play at the back, but I'd rather have him either midfield or a DM if we can. Kehrer as well, plays same sort of position as Rice. Emerson, Cresswell, Massacre as well, Cornet, Soucek, Manuel Lanzini, Paqueta, Antonio, which I think is he going to be our striker, do you reckon? Quite possibly. Vlasic as well, Jared Bowen, wonderful stuff out on the wing. Absolutely, I mean, look at them. He looks really good. In fact, let's have a quick look at him. I thought he might be a bit better than that, but well, we'll see what we got when after this first season. Fornals, Benrahma and Skamaka up front. So do we play Skamaka or Antonio up front, or do we just leave it for them to fight it out? But between him and Antonio, who's quicker? So Antonio's quicker. I mean, you could argue they're about the same. Defending wise, Antonio's probably better as well. You can play out on the wings though. Skamaka's probably more forward orientated, and he's only 22 years old, so we could mould him into our star striker and leave Antonio just round about playing on the wings. Maybe we'll see what happens, but but that is our squad. It looks pretty decent. And also, what have we got going into this season preview? Considering they're lying third from bottom currently in real life, finished 10th, 150 to 1. Maybe we do need this window, but we're not going to go through this window. As I say, the transfers have been made and the season started, so we're going to jump straight in and to simulate our first season if we can. So formation wise, we are going to do what their preferred formation, but we're going to have an inverted winger here as Jared Bowen. I think that's where he's rather suited. Paqueta can play there as well. Inside forward on the left hand side. We're going to have an AP, we're going to have an advanced forward, we're going to have a box-to-box midfielder, ball-winning midfielder in defence. Probably that's going to be Declan Rice's role, I'm guessing, or we could push him back down here. Maybe we'll see what happens. A couple of wing backs, a ball playing defender and a central defender and a goalkeeper on support, a sweeper keeper that is. Very tempted to put Scamacca in there, the 22-year-old, as opposed to Antonio. Antonio can, he probably can play there as well, but I really want to see what Scamacca can do. I think he looks pretty decent at 22 years old. Antonio's 31, so I really do want to get this youngster involved and scoring goals if at all possible as well. But everything else, I'm just wondering whether to put Bo in there as well. I want him as a first choice. Paqueta, what's he like? He's 24 years old. Again, can play his cam role actually. So if I do that and put Bo in there, who's going to be our main man, I think, on the right-hand side. And I'm guessing also as a ball-winning midfielder, I want to have... actually, Souček can play there as well. Wow, that's brilliant. And Declan Rice can play in that. Yeah, we want certain players that we want in here. So these three that we are going to be using, I want to see what they can do. Hopefully Declan Rice is just improve. I mean, that's what he's all about, isn't it? I'd rather him play midfield as opposed to defence. So that's why I'm going to stick him in midfield. I don't want him playing at the back, where I've noticed a few times he does play at the back. So I don't want him playing there. But it's going to be quite an interesting season. See how we get on. But so far, we have played a few games. We're up to the start of the season now. The window's closed. And it's gone pretty well, actually. We do lose to Genoa 4-3, but we beat Foggia and Alves as well. Draw with Tottenham at the start of the season. We do play in the Euro Cup 2 League playoffs. And we win that 4-3 overall, losing 3-1 away at Cologne, which is quite disappointing. In the middle of that, we do lose to Wolves 1-0. Again, another disappointing result. But we do have a fantastic win against Arsenal 3-1. That is absolutely phenomenal. Antonio, Zuma and Souček all scoring, which does leave us middle of the table currently. 1 win, draw and a loss, 5 goals for. Minus 1 goal difference though, so we do have to improve a bit on that as well. But we'll see where we're at the end of this first season and find out where we do need to improve, if at all any. We have drawn Zrinski, KI, Fiorentina in the Euro Cup 2. So I would expect us to get through that. And the Carabao Cup, we've drawn Man U away from home. So that's going to be a tough one as well. Back to the stages. Wow. I'm assuming other teams may have added to their team possibly. We've dropped even more on the ratings. 10th place, which I think is an improvement, I believe. 200 to 1 though. That's slightly worse off though. And as you probably would expect, we've got no play. I would have expected Declan Rice to be in there somewhere, but so far, nobody there. Right, okay, so let's go and simulate our first season, see where we get up to, and then hopefully we'll be in a better shape to know where we do need changes. Season 1 comes to a close and we finish in 6th position, which is very good actually, behind United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool and Man City. We are ahead of Chelsea, which is fantastic, and ahead of Newcastle as well. Finished 7 points clear of Everton in 7th position. We're only 5 points off 5th and a further point away from a 4th place and Champions League qualification, which is pretty damn good as well. 75 goals scored. Jared Bowen with 29 chances created for the season, and Kurt Zouma 126 interceptions made as well. Going through some of the results then, I can see straight away Man City hammer us 5-1 in an away tie, but then we go on somewhat of a 3-month unbeaten run where we play the likes of United, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, Liverpool. We beat Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle once again. I mean, it is a pretty impressive. I mean, there is about 7 games winning streak there as well. I mean, that is phenomenal. We do have a little bit of a blip in the next couple of months though, losing to Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea and Liverpool get their own back, and Man United 3-0, and then again we go on a little bit of a unbeaten run once more through the month of April, and then the last couple of games we lose to Forest and Man City, but we draw with Arsenal though, so it's quite an improvement, but it's not a bad season though after all. The FA Cup, we get knocked out by Brentford in the 3rd round. We don't even progress. That is disappointing considering we have majority of the play as well. 16 shots to their 5. Carabao Cup, we don't fare much better really. 1-0 away loss again. This time, Elanga scores for United. 12 shots to our 10. It's not too bad, I'm guessing. 5 shots apiece on target, 43% possession. We do need to hold on to the ball a little bit more than that, I'm thinking. But other than that, it's not too bad representation really from ourselves in this competition. But I would have liked to have got a bit further in. But to come against one of the top teams, it is kind of difficult. After qualifying through the path qualifying, we do finish second in the table in the Euro Cup 2 with just 1 loss. I'm guessing that's against Fiorentina. It is 3-1 and then drawing 1-1. So 3 points in it in the end. Quite a easy group for us in the end. 6-0 against KI both times. 6-0 against Zrinski and a 2-0 as well. I mean, it's quite impressive. 22 goals scored though. That's pretty good. And we only conceded 4 and then 4 came against Fiorentina. The first knockout round we play Maribor. We win that comfortably 4-0. 3-0 from the first leg. A 1-0 in the second leg. Comfortable as you like. 31 shots. 55% possession. It's pretty easy. We play Nice in the second knockout round of the 2 legs. 3-0 on aggregate. Thanks to a 2-0 away win. And Yaraboin getting both goals. Again, 18 shots. 10 on target. Only 44% possession. I'm seeing there's a pattern there away from home. But as long as we're dominating at home and still taking points, I'll be quite pleased. The quarterfinals, we play Union Berlin, where we win 4-3, in fact. We did have a 2-1 deficit from the first leg, and we kind of came back into that with Skamaka scoring both goals and Cornet as well. And it is Fiorentina, who we didn't beat in the group stages, who beat us at the semi-final stage 5-4 after taking a 3-1 lead to Italy. That hurts a lot, and I think we may have been 4-2 up in this tie as well, with 3 goals coming in the last 50 minutes. Disappointing to say the least, but we gave a good account of ourselves, and to be fair, possession wise 50-50 this time away from home. 18 shots to their 11. I'd say we were quite dominant in this one, but to bow out at this stage, it is disappointing. So what did our squad do then? So let's have a quick look. Declan Rice looks absolutely superb, doesn't he? 23 years old. So goals-wise, Skamaka, 31 goals and 52. Superb. Yaraboin, 17 goals, 21 assists. That's 38 goals involvements he's done. Declan Rice, 16 goals, 13 assists. I mean, 29 goal involvements for him as well. Ben Rama, 12 goals. Antonio whips in with 9. Coming off the bench a few times with 6 assists. Souček as well scoring with Paqueta, Cornet. I mean, a few goals in there through the whole team. And assists throughout the whole team as well, but more outstandingly from Bowen and Rice. So what they're going to be giving us for next season? Nearly £40 million. So do we go out and sell a couple of players and bring some in? We're going to have a good look at the team, find out where we do need improving. We'll come back when the window's shut and we've done our business. Right, so we've been let loose with a little bit of money. So we're first, in reverse in order, Tanguy Ndombele from Tottenham. He comes to the club. 25 years old. He was on the transfer market. They were willing to let him go, and I thought he'd be really, really suited to our system as well. Either in midfield with Declan Rice or Souček, or in the attacking midfielder role. We're not playing with the DM. I don't think we need to, especially not after the last season. So we really need to go for the jugular and stay in the top 6 if we can. Either he can play cam or midfield. Souček, Rice and himself, I think they're going to be a very, very good force to be reckoned with in the midfield. £7.5 million, rising up to 12.5. Very, very cheap, actually. I was quite impressed. He's played a couple of games for us already. He was out on loan in Italy at Napoli. Not that great a season, but I just think he'll add that summer extra. And with youth as well, he can play with us for a very long time. Well, at least a few years to come. At least anyway. Next up is Nino. We brought him in as a centre-back, 6'2". Physicals isn't too bad. Heading's not bad either. He was slightly better than this, but I'm assuming because we brought a couple of additions to the squad, his rating has gone right down. We have got him in the starting lineup, but it might be one of them players that we'll just replace next season. I don't think we did too much of a scouting on him, unfortunately. 25 years old. He might be good enough. We shall see. But £11.5 million he's worth. we did pay 10. A couple of good seasons in Brazil, so I was hoping that he might continue this into this season. I mean, 6.85 in the Premiership after 4 games. He is going to be our starting centre-back alongside Kurt Zouma. Hopefully he'll get a little bit of experience. We'll see what he's like after the season, and if it's a no-show, then we'll have no option but to release him. But and finally, Marcus Edwards, 23-year-old winger. You're probably wondering, Jared Bowen, what about him? Well, he may go on the left-hand side. He's wanting to leave. We've extended his contract by another year, so he's with us to at least 2025, I think. And he's going nowhere just yet, but we're just going to protect our asset. Man City came in for him a couple of times. They just didn't want to pay what our valuation was of him. We wanted around about £60 million. They're not going to pay that. They wanted half that. And I think he's just far too good a player to release. But Marcus Edwards comes in. He's going to play on the right. He can actually play on the left-hand side if need be, but we're going to stick him on the right-hand side and see what happens. But he looks very, very good all round. And £19 million, rising up to 24. A goal already, 6.97. He had a good season with Sporting last season. They make one hell of a lot of profit on him. And to be honest, I'm quite okay with that. He's going to improve. He was injured out for a couple of weeks as well, so hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. But these stats look: dribbling, first touch, he's got acceleration, bit of pace. Well, 15 pace is quite good actually. Flair, I mean, he's good. So £37 million spent overall. £5.5 million go out the door. Cresswell goes, hence why we needed to bring in another defender. And yeah, I think we may have made a mistake on Nino, but we'll see what happens. He might redeem himself. Fabianski goes as well because we needed to free up some space in the squad. And a couple of other players have gone on a free, little bit of money, and on loan as well. So we're still going to go with the same formation. Rice is going to stay in the middle. Skamaka up front. Edwards on the right. Nino and Zouma in the centre. We'll see how it goes. I'm not quite convinced just yet. And as you can see, the fixtures have been very, very kind to us. We've had a very, very good pre-season. We start off with a 5-2 thrashing of Chelsea in the league. I mean, 5-2. We do get a goal on his debut for Marcus Edwards as well. Ben Rama, Vlasic and Fornals all scoring. Lukaku and Ziyech for Chelsea. But a 5-2 away win as well at Stamford Bridge. That's just insane. Then we go and beat Newcastle 1-0. We played Fulham and Blackburn winning and drawing. And then we played Hapoel Tel Aviv in the qualifying path, whatever it is, in Euro 2, which seems very, very pointless, to be perfectly honest, with Skamaka and Rice scoring in the first leg, with Fornals, Skamaka against Souček in the second leg. 4-1 second leg win. We are fourth in the table, 3 wins and a draw, 2 points behind Man City. We have picked up PAOK, Univer and Sparta Prague in the group stages, and we've picked up Wigan away from home in the Carabao Cup. Not sure what really they're expecting from us. Reach the quarterfinals and reach the quarterfinals in the FA Cup as well. Preview has us climb the table a little bit, so it's a much improved side then by all accounts. 50-1 now to finish 8th, or to finish, to win the league. But 8th finish they're predicting, which will be quite nice as well. So if we can get into the top 8 or top 6 again, be very impressed. Okay, let's simulate season 2. Let's see how we get on, and hopefully we can break into that top 6 again. Season 2 comes to a close and we finish 7th. We're still in a Europa League 2 position. Did lose 1 game less than last season, so that's a massive improvement. 63 points though, unfortunately not as much as last season. And unfortunately this time round we don't get anybody on the top 3 listings in any format at all at the moment. So the league, we started off pretty well. We carried on with a draw against Forest and lost to Tottenham, Wolves and Villa straight off the bat. And then we start a little bit of a recovery. Norwich, Everton, City we beat 3-1, which is a really, really good result. So we are beating teams above us, which is nice. Bournemouth, Leeds and Arsenal we would draw. Beat Burnley, lose to Liverpool. We do beat Man U though, but lose to Leicester. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. Draw with Arsenal there as well. 4-1 win over Burnley, which is a good result. 5-1 win over Norwich there. Lose to Liverpool 4-1. 6-3 hammering by Man City to get their own back on us. I mean, that's that's just a high-scoring game, isn't it? We don't close off the season well again. Forest beat us once more. They just seem to beat our bogey team at the moment. We just can't seem to do much about it. But we do have a draw against United towards the end of the season. The FA Cup, we get to the quarter-final stage, only to be hammered by Man City 4-0. Not an answer for it whatsoever. 26 goals to 10. 55% possession for Man City. Haaland didn't score, so that was great. Grealish did, though, and Silva. The Carabao Cup, we do get to the final, but we lose 2-0 to Man City again. Man City just seem to be the bane of our lives at the moment. Just that one win earlier on in the season in the league. But there's Berardi and Rafael Leao with the goals. 2-0. It's a better performance. Shots, we didn't really trouble them at all. 37% possession in the final. That's poor. The Euro Cup 2, we finished top of the table with no losses whatsoever. Just that one draw against the Greek side, PAOK. And 17 goals, 6 against, not too bad. Scores coming in for Sparta Prague twice, 1-0 and 5-0. We beat Universitatea 5-3 and 2-0 and 3-1 against PAOK in the other games as well. But that's a decent result and gets us into the next round. And that's where we ended. The second knockout round, and we lost on penalties. Vlasic and Johnson missing the all-important penalties. We got to the semi-finals, I think it was last season. We didn't get very far this season at all, just past the group stage. 19 shots with just 2 on target, and I find that really, really hurtful that we only got 2 out of the 17 on target. I mean, that is really poor. So squad, who scored the goals? 34 goals, Scamacca. Very, very good indeed. I'm very happy with the Italian. 24 years old though. Do we go in for another forward? Or, I mean, how many goals did he score in the league there? That's the big question. I mean, he scored 20 goals, 4 more than last season, 3 more assists than last season, and more player. I mean, he had a better season, so hopefully he might go on. We may not need to improve our forward line just this second, I don't think. If there's somebody that's good enough that comes along, then yes. But at the moment, he's still putting the ball in the back of the net, and I'm quite happy with that at the moment. I just think the back four does need a little bit of an improvement. But Scamacca, at 24 years old, looks pretty good going forward. 13 goals for Edwards, though, in his first season. 13 and 10 assists. I mean, 23 goals involvement. Bowen, 12 goals as well. 10 for Benrahma. Vlasic with 8. Declan Rice, not so much this season. I think he's had a relatively quiet season. 12 assists, 6 goals. Not an awful lot to his 2030 involvement last season. Soucek 5 and 3. Assist wise, 12 for Declan Rice, so he does come out top on that. 11 Paqueta. Edwards with 10. 10 for Kufal as well. I'm assuming right back. 30-year-old right back. Interesting. Areola, we may look at another goalkeeper and defence. I think that's where we need to look to the market. I think at the back. And Antonio, he's not having a very good time of it at the moment, is he? We may look to move him on as well. So maybe a forward as a backup, defenders, and possibly a goalkeeper as well. But in order to do that, we need some money. So let's have a look and see how much they're willing to give us in the market. And they're going to be giving us £60 million and just over £200,000 in wages as well. So that's good news. So we'll go away, we'll do our transfers, we'll come back and we'll have a look. So let's start off with the position I thought that we really needed to improve, and that's the goalkeeping situation. We're down to 1 goalkeeper. It's not enough, and I think we have a very, very good, solid goalkeeper at the back. Our defence will improve no end. And we bring in Justin Bijlau. He's played quite a few games already. He's conceded a fair bit, but that's probably just getting used to the Premiership, etc. And we did play Liverpool first league game of the season, so it's quite a baptism of fire. One-on-ones look very, very nice indeed. Physicals look really good as well. It says that he's at his potential. I'm hoping he'll grow a little bit more than that as well. But we bring him in from Feyenoord for £25 million. Not an awful lot. He had quite a good time in Holland. Premiership's a little bit different. We also needed another striker. We've gone for Brenner. he's still got some potential in him, and he's only 23 years old. He's a Brazilian as well. Very, very nicely rounded player as well. Physicals, mentals, technicals as well. Finishing looks really good as well, and he's pretty pacey and quick, so that's kind of nice as well. We pick him up for £4 million from Cincinnati. He scored a goal for us already in 2 games. That's marvellous in the league as well. So I'm guessing he's going to be sharing with Zamaka as well. So I'm quite happy with that. And then one more position we needed to strengthen as well was at the back. So we got a new goalkeeper. We got Kirk Zuma. We also needed somebody to play alongside him as well. Nino, I don't think he's really up to the challenge. However, he is omitted from the squad for this season. We're trying to offload him. Just to raise a little bit of cash as well. But Mohamed Salisu, he comes from Southampton, I think he did. £30 million it's cost us. I think that's going to rise a little bit more than that, is it? 32.5. 3 games so far, 6.9. He had a good season with Southampton in the Championship last season. So we'll see how he fares this season. But already 6.9, better than what he did when he was in the Premiership last time, so that's good news as well. So overall, we spend quite a fair bit of money. Out the door, we lose, is there anything? Nino, he has gone on loan to Blackburn actually. Lanzini goes to Tigres for £13.5 million, and Antonio goes to Lyon for 3.5. Pre-season has gone perfectly, and then we hit Liverpool in the Premiership. As you can see, that blip for 4-3. The winner coming from Salah penalty in the 94th minute, and I think we were winning 3-2 at that point as well. Jota and Salah scoring the late goals. Disappointing we didn't come away with a win or even a draw, but 4-3, it's a good start. I'm guessing if you're going to lose a game, lose it really close, but probably not when you're leading 3-2 with 10 minutes to go. Aston Villa 1-1 in the league. Brenner scoring on his debut there, and then we beat Everton 3-0 with Scamacca, Souček and Zuma all scoring. We played Panathinaikos in the Euro 2 League Path qualifying. We win that 5-2 on aggregate, which is quite nice, which gives us a group of Rosenborg, AIK and Midtjylland. We're sitting 8th in the table, just outside European places, and we pick up Watford in the Carabao Cup and a home tie, so that's going to be quite nice as well. A home tie finally in a cup to start things off. Preview has us in 8th position once again, 50-1. It's going to be quite hard to break into that, I think. And big signings coming in. Arsenal signed Koop Meyers from Atalanta for £84 million. Bayern Munich take off McKennie from United for £82 million. Newcastle spend big again, over £100 million on Sabitzer and Anguissa. And Man City pick up Acuna from Sevilla as well. So big signings coming. Oh, United also pick up Moise Kean from Juventus for £50 million. So let's go straight into proceedings. It is season 3. Let's simulate, let's come back, and hopefully, again, we can break into this top 8 once more. Right, we've finished 9th. That's disappointing. I'm not going to lie. I expected to be a little bit higher than that. We didn't even get to the predicted place of 8th position either. And I can see we won our last game against Bournemouth 1-0. So that's pretty cool. But to finish 4 points off 8th position is very, very sad. Although we do finish higher than Arsenal. And we're in Europe. Arsenal are not. We didn't finish in a European spot, so that suggests we may have won a competition. Same with Leeds. They're in the Champions League. Now, either they were in the Champions League and they went on and won it, or they got Champions League through winning, I'm guessing it's the Europa League. Let's just take a quick look. I'm curious now as what they have done. So they were in the Europa League, I think, and they beat Chelsea in the final 1-0. And that got them qualification to the Champions League. Wow. All right, let's have a look at our side then. So Edwards gets 29 chances created. So that's not bad. He's the only one that really showed any promise. Wow. Okay, let's have a look at some of the results. So the Premiership, we start off with a loss and a draw and a win. We carried on with a couple of more wins. We do lose to Chelsea, Fulham, Leeds. We have a little bit of stints of runs, and then we just lose quite. We beat Man United 3-1 there. Andrew of Arsenal, lose to Fulham. Millwall in the Premiership. Wow, we lose to them 2-1. Lose to Villa Tottenham we lose, draw with Liverpool. We beat United. We've done the double over United, so that's kind of cool. Arsenal will lose. Man City we beat 2-0 as well. Did we beat them in the other game? We beat the Manchester club, so that's an improvement. But it doesn't get us anywhere, does it? Everton we lose. And then Chelsea we beat 4-0 after beating 5. Was it 5-2 at the beginning of the season? Oh no, that might have been another season actually. We did lose to them 1-0 before, but 4-0, wow. And Bournemouth 1-0. The FA Cup, we only reached as far as the 4th round, losing away at Sheffield United. We do get to the final of the Carabao Cup where we play Liverpool, and as you can see there is a score at the top left-hand corner. We do win 4-1 despite going 1-0 down right before half-time. But Bowen has other ideas, races up to the other end, and the ball's been put into the box, and it's a great finish. All on his own. Skamaka levels the tie. It's 1-1 at this point. This is right at the end of the half time though. And then 3 goals in the second half. There's one there. Great header from Zuma. Wonderful goal. To beat Liverpool in the final, no matter who you are, you will take that all day long. And to get some trophies. We have got ourselves a Carabao Cup. So it's a trophy nonetheless. We'll take it. I'm quite happy about that. But I would like to see us gain a little bit more momentum in the league. I mean, that's a wonderful goal by Bowen. Wow, what a strike. Off the kneecap possibly, but that went in like Billio, that did. And we were on top of this game, 50-50, more shots. Slightly less XG, but we had more shots on target though. The Euro Cup 2. We finished top of the group, just the one couple of points dropped against Rosenborg, 2-2. They finished bottom of the group as well. We gave them one of their few points that they did get. But we do smash everybody else, conceding just 2, scoring 19 goals. And a 5-0 against AIK and a 3-0 and everybody else 3-0. The second knockout round, we beat Rennes 3-2. 1-1 from the first leg to win 2-1 at home. I'll take it all day long. Brenner getting the goal to set us along our way. And Bowen getting the second goal, which almost puts it beyond them. But they do get one back earlier on. But again, 23 shots this time to their 5. We played Motherwell in the quarterfinals and we smashed them 6-0. 2 3-0s. And you can see again, 23 shots to their 8. 58% possession. Bowen and Skamaka scoring. Got to be happy with that as well. We're gaining momentum to get to the final. And the final we do reach. It's we play Sparta Prague. We beat them 4-1 after a 2-1 first leg win. Skamaka and Ben Ramos scoring, but Skamaka's getting a fair few goals now, isn't he? And we're starting to see a decent side forming. And we play Fiorentina. Wow! After extra time, we do lose in the end. Fiorentina going ahead on 53 minutes before we get an equaliser. But again, it's Fiorentina. They seem to be the bane of our lives at the moment in this competition. We just can't seem to beat them at all. So it seems a lovely ball across to Edwards, who's on hand at the back post to level things up on 74. It sends it into extra time. But at extra time, we do kind of falter. Tired legs probably out there as Jesus comes forward for Fiorentina, plays the ball across. Jovic is just there, isn't he? Maybe we might try and steal him for next season. So if we do play Fiorentina, they won't have him. But yeah, disappointment to lose the final. But a final, we get there all the same. So we could have got ourselves into the Europa League if things have gone our way. Squad-wise, 36 goals. Skamaka, he just gets better and better, doesn't he? Bowen with 14 and 9. Edwards 13 and 21 assists. Amazing. Brenner with 11 from his 15 starts. 7 for Souček. Declan Rice 6 and 5. He seems to be dropping off an awful lot. 25. We don't want him to be doing that unless he's being more defensive. I don't know. But Kurt Zuma with 5 goals as well. What about our other defender? Salisu. 61 games. I mean, it is an awful lot of games, isn't it? Ever present though, so they must have been absolutely tired. And Bijlal, our goalkeeper, how did he do? 12 clean sheets this season, 31 conceded in 33. That's not too bad considering he conceded 5 in 3 games at the start of the season. So really happy with that. He really pulled it around. Assist wise, almost right through the whole team. Carrera, I'm thinking of maybe offloading this guy. I'm not quite sure. Central defender. Maybe he wants to play in defence. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit to play in defence. But we are getting to a point now where we have got certain players in here now, like Salisu. We have got Ogard as well. We've got some fairly good defenders in here now. Maybe one more or not, I don't know, but we'll see. Ariola's not very happy. He only played 9 games. The one thing that matters money-wise, £50 million. That we could do something there. We might bring 1 or 2 players, and we need some star players in here. Maybe we need to have a winger, maybe just a bit more attacking, or a cam that's really going for the jugular, and also possibly one of the 2 wing backs as well. We just need somebody really good to come in and just take it to the next level. So let's go and spend this money. We'll come back and see what we've done. We'll start off with some of the outs, and well, say some of the outs, it's just one. Thilo Kehrer, he has left West Ham. He's gone to Leipzig. We do let him go for £23 million. He had full seasons with us, last 3. Not that great though, to be perfectly honest. Just teetering on the 7s. We want a little bit more than that, especially for my right back. And no goals, no assists apart from 3 in 3 years. It's not a lot. But that did help us with some of our transfers though, the extra money. Eric Garcia comes in. We did pay quite a bit of money for him. From Barcelona, I think it was. I don't know now. Barcelona, £35 million, rising up to £40 million. We wanted somebody at the back. He's again, we have got a few defenders. I just don't think they're as good. But Eric Garcia is one that will improve. He's got some potential left in him. He's very physical. He's determined. Heading's quite good. The jump is not too bad. He's dribbles. He can tackle. And he's only 23 years old, so he's got a few years left in him as well. And despite having our back 2 central defenders last season who did really well, we want to go that one step further. And I think this will be it now for the defenders. We will be concentrating on the midfield and further up for the last season. But I'm very happy to bring Eric Garcia in though. He's £40 million in total. I don't think it's that bad. And we stayed with the back, and we bring in Luke Thomas. I think he's from Leicester. £50 million it's cost us, rising up to 59. He's played 20 plus games in the last few seasons, not hitting 7s, but he is doing that already with 1 assist. He's got half as the assists as he had with Leicester in all his time there, and he's playing at 7.3 already. £59 million in a premium because he's English, left back, and we just can't get anybody that's good enough, really. And I was quite surprised how thin we are on the ground with left backs. I think we've only got 1 other. Cornet is the only other left back. Johnson is a right back. Emerson's a right back as well. There's a few other players that can play there, but I thought with his potential as well, 23-year-old, we're starting to look good at the back. And I think, like I said before, we are not going to be improving our back line anymore now, unless, of course, somebody leaves. And that has helped us quite a bit amongst all the friendlies, where we destroy Milan, Atalanta, Eibar. Then we start our league campaign against Burnley, a 5-1 victory there. Tottenham a 2-2. And Man City, which we smash 4-1. Haaland getting a goal, but the game's already won. Skamaka with a hat-trick. Swansea we beat in the second round of the Carabao Cup, and also we beat Austria Vienna. That does leave us top of the table, which I'm really impressed with. How long that'll last, I don't know. We have picked up Zrinski again in the Euro Cup too. Servette and HJK. I'm sure we played some of these teams before. We've drawn Wrexham in the next round of the Carabao Cup. I'm sure it's the 3rd round this time round. And where does that leave us in the preview? Hopefully it's going to be a bit better. Wow, okay, 50-1. Everybody else has increased above us, but we've stayed at 8th position. Right, let's get into it all then. Season 4 simulation coming right up, and we'll be back straight after. Right, we've made an improved position from last season, and we are in the Europa League. We finished 7th, a couple of points behind Liverpool, who finished in 6th. My goodness, even Leeds finish above them as well. Chelsea, Arsenal, City and United winning the league. Tottenham finished down in 17th position, almost getting relegated. So we started off pretty well in the league, beating Man City, Burnley, drawing with Tottenham. But then we lost to Liverpool, drew with Watford, lost at Forest again. We just can't seem to beat Forest. in any way, shape or form. We won't have to worry about it next season because they're relegated. 5-4 loss to Brighton, another big scoring round there as well. 5-0 winning of Chelsea. Goodness me. Scamacca getting one, Declan Rice, a brace from Edwards as well. I mean, 5-0. Wow, that is just truly amazing. A couple of wins, losses there. It's been hit and miss all season, really. The wins that we do get have been quite convincing. We do lose to Arsenal, though. But we beat Tottenham 4-0 there after a drawing earlier on. 4-0 against Everton. We did lose to Everton further up here, 2-0. We do beat Man U 4-0, though. Liverpool 4-3, Brentford 1-0, but we lose to Man City 4-1 and Watford. So the teams we get relegated against we lose to, but we do beat Forest towards the end of the season. FA Cup, we lose to Chelsea. I just don't get it. We can beat Chelsea in the league, thrash them and what have you, and then we do something like this. And at home as well, and after taking the lead. Carabao Cup, we seem to do quite well in this competition, but we get as far as the semi-final and we get smashed by Arsenal. 5-0 on aggregate, 3-0 from the first leg, 2-0 in the second leg. Not an answer for it at all. Disappointing all the same, and 6 shots really at home against Arsenal to their 13. I mean, and 44% possession. I just don't think our hearts were in it. I think they might have been elsewhere. So Europa League 2 then. We finished top of the group convincingly, quite convincingly actually. 11 points clear, 6 from 6. And we only conceded the 1 goal, scoring 22 goals with a 5-0 and 4-1 victory over Straczynski and HJK 2-0 and 6-0. And Servette as well 2-0 and 3-0. Second round knockouts. We win against Charleroi, I think it is. 6-0 on aggregate, 2-0 on the night, 4-0 away from home. Another convincing win in Europe. Then we play Odd, which we win 4-0 on aggregate, 3-0 first leg lead. Brenner scores the only goal in the second leg. Nice and easy. 17 shots to 8, 53% possession. We kind of outplayed them. The semi-final, we win 6-1 on aggregate, which means we are in the final. The 3-0 second leg win from a 3-1 lead away from home. Scamacca, Rice and Kufal all 3 scoring. So the final, we play Villarreal. We take the lead very earlier on. Most of the goals came in very early, and that's a cracking goal by Bowen, latching onto an Edwards cross. And then in the space of a couple of minutes, we found ourselves 2-1 down. A superb header from a corner there as well. And then again, another goal. This is still in the first 15 minutes of the game. A through ball. And we just didn't have an answer. I mean, look at that. Our goalkeeper literally on the ground, wondering what on earth is going on. But somehow we get ourselves back into it. 21 minutes gone. And Marcus Edwards again doing most of the damage. Lovely shot straight into the corner. Goalie has no chance whatsoever. So 21 minutes, it's 2-2. And then the winner coming in the 62nd minute to make it 3-2. Zuma with the ball to Edwards, back to Edwards. And that's a superb finish. It's a wonderful stuff. And the trophy. We win a European trophy finally. This trophy is ours. Hence now we are in the Europa League. And as you can see from all the results, unbeaten. And we only conceded 1, 2, 4 goals in all them games. That is superb. Can't ask for more than that. So looking at the squad, we've still got a good squad with us still. And Ndombele's not very happy. I don't think he's been getting much game time, to be fair. 9 games, 25 on sub. Yeah, maybe we may look to move him along possibly at 28. Ben Rama's doing really well though, to be perfectly honest. So let's have a look at goals then. 37 for Scamacca. Edwards with 24. And 25 assists. That is, wow, that's superb, as his morale says. Souček with 17 goals and 9 assists. I don't think we're going to find a better midfielder really there, to be fair. But that is amazing. How did Declan Rice... Well, Brenner, he gets 13 goals. 1 start, 42 subs. So I'm not sure if he's... Well, he's happy. So he's a good cover. But Declan Rice, where are you, my friend? 58 games, 6 goals, 9 assists. I'm not sure whether we ought to play him where he wants to play as a central midfielder or a DLP, I think. But again, He's happy enough playing where he is. £78 million he's worth now. Garcia, what did he do this season? Garcia down here, 52 games. Didn't really contribute an awful lot, though, to be fair. But he's injured again. He's out for 5 months. We may have to go in for another centre-back. He's already had 3 weeks out as it is. So he did miss the last few games, well, last couple of weeks of the season, 13th of May. So he probably missed the final as well, actually, to be fair. But he's going to be out for 5 months. That will take him to November. We do need a centre-back. I didn't really want to go for him for another centre-back. Maybe we don't need to, but we shall see. I mean, we have got centre-backs that could come in and cover. But let's have a look how much money they are going to be offering. £60 million this time. We've got £74 million in the bank, though, so that's pretty decent as well. £60 million. Whether we offload anybody and bring some people in, that may be the way we have to do it in order to keep the people, well, in order to keep the squad rotation going. But other than that, a fair bit of money again. So a centre-back, I don't really want to go into the market again. I really want to concentrate more midfield and more attacking. Let's go and spend it. What a palaver we've had in the last transfer window. Declan Rice has been linked heavily with Real Madrid. It started off as a measly £70 million package, ending up in a £123 million package. He's still with us. He refused to sign for Real Madrid. He's got his heart set up on going to Man United, strangely enough, but United never came in for him, so he's still with us, thankfully. So anyway, so starting off with our transfers, we're bringing our first one, Gabriel Pirani, Brazilian midfielder, just in case Declan Rice did go. He's still pretty good, actually. I kind of like him. 23 years old. He's young. He had a good season last season at SAN and the season before. In fact, he's not had that bad of seasons, really. He's been quite useful. Good backup to the centre, a bit of stiff competition, and a DLP. So we are using a DLP position in our starting lineup this year for the final season. So maybe he might get a few games. He has had a couple of games already. So we'll see how that pans out for this season. Next up is another midfielder, but more or less for a cam position. Hamed Traore. Very quick, physical, decision making. He's got good dribbling. He's got great first touch. He's great. He looks really good. That's where we want him to play. He's got some potential on him as well. 25 years old and £35 million it's cost us. I don't think he's had that bad a season last few seasons in Italy for Sassuolo. I can't pronounce the name. It's I should have realised that before I said it. But I was quite happy to bring him in. We wanted somebody to challenge Paqueta in that role there. Saying that, he can play left wing, so again, we'll see how that pans out, but already a few games under his belt already, so I'm quite pleased with this purchase. Finally, because of the injury to Garcia, we had to bring in another centre-back. I said I wasn't going to bring another one in, and another one I have brought in. Him and Garcia are pretty much on the same level. He's playing at the moment. Garcia is still injured. I think he's got about 4 weeks to go. Well, so they'll just battle it out between the pair of them who's going to play in that position. But 25 years old, great jumping reach. Not so bad heading though. He's got pace, physicals, mentals look really good as well. And £40 million it's going to cost us from Porto. So all in all, £81 million spent. There's a couple of youngsters as well coming to the team also. We do say goodbye to Nino. He's gone for £1.5 million. And also we say goodbye to Emerson. He went to Burnley for 15. And Ndombele, he's gone to Aston Villa for £17.5 million. The only change really to the tactics, we've just brought in a DLP now. We're using that position instead. So either be Declan Rice, Soler, Suchet, Pirani. It doesn't matter, we'll see. We've got quite an array of players now. And as you can see, it's worked out pretty well. We haven't conceded many goals. We had a great 9-0 victory there against Gombak. And then we played Atlanta. We beat Wolfsburg. We did lose to Tottenham first game of the season. Then we beat Leeds, Southampton and Arsenal. So that's a good improvement. So we're getting a little bit of momentum going now. That does leave us 6th in the table. 6 points, 3 behind Liverpool, Tottenham and Man U. With Wolves and Newcastle ahead of us as well. We have drawn Club Brugge, Fenerbahce and Getafe in the Europa League. So I'm quite excited to see how we progress in that. I'd rather come out of that group as opposed to, I don't know if we drop down into the Euro 2. I don't know if that's a thing. But we would like to go through this competition and win it if at all possible. And we've drawn Norwich in the third round of the Carabao Cup. And for the last time, our predictions to finish have not changed. We're still in 8th position, so we could say that we're the best of the rest. For the final time then, the final simulation, Season 5. Let's get this done and come back and let's celebrate. So Season 5, the final season has finished, and we do finish in a European spot once again. It's only the ones who's finished outside the top 7, but we still managed to get into Europe every season, which is pretty good actually, to be fair. We are probably considered the best of the rest. We do finish ahead of Newcastle as well. And Tottenham. Tottenham really struggling. Man City, wow, 6th place, and they're in the Europa League. They're not going to like that. Same with Chelsea. Leeds in the Champions League. Okay, had to double take on that. Arsenal, United and Liverpool winning the league. Going through some of the results then, we do have a little bit of a run where we go and beat Leicester, Southampton, do lose to United 5-0, and then we can't win a game in October. Man City and Chelsea amongst them. With 2 draws but losing to Brighton. Wow, okay, that seems a little bit odd. Wolves we lose, beat Brentford. Lose to Liverpool 5-3 there. A couple of wins, losses. It is, again, a hit and miss. The second half of the season, we seem to have a lot more wins, getting ourselves into a European spot. We do beat United towards the end of the season, draw with Arsenal. We do lose to Liverpool once again, though. But Tottenham we beat 4-1. Okay, it's not a bad season, but again, it's not consistent enough to break into that top 6. The FA Cup, we just don't seem to do very well in at all. We go to Old Trafford and we get absolutely smashed 4-0. Rashford with a brace, Bruno and Evanescence as well. Carabao Cup, we don't even get past Norwich in the third round. That's disappointing. I expected to at least get through to the semi-final once again. But 4-3 loss with 2 goals on 77 minutes. We were 3-2 up and we conceded 2 goals in the 77th minute. The Europa League group stage, 6 for 6. That shows a lot of promise, doesn't it? 6 for 6 in that Getafe, Bruges and Fenerbahce. Did we have, wow, 6-4 against Club Bruges and 4-1. Fenerbahce 6-1 and 4-0 and 2-0 and 2-1 against Getafe. Wow, that's quite good. We do concede an awful lot of goals, though, it has to be said, but we do score 24. However, that was short-lived. We played Atletico Madrid. Despite having a 1-1 draw away from home, we lose at home in the 68th minute. So, how did our squad do then? So, let's go for goals first. 21 goals for Edwards. He topped goal scores. Skamaka, only 34 games this time round. 20 goals. Brenner, 16 goals. So, he gets a few more starts. 16 goals. 11 for Finals. 11 for Souček as well. Paqueta gets some goals also. Ben Rama, Vlasic, Cornet, Bowen. I mean, the goals throughout the whole team, though, to be fair. Assist-wise, 18 for Edwards. Involvement in 39 goals. That is really good. Declan Rice, 10 assists. Same with Paqueta, 10 assists. 9 for Bowen. Traore in his first season, 8 assists. It's not too bad. Souček, 8 assists to go along with his 11 goals. Nice. And Skamaka's assisting quite a few times now as well. Overall, it's not been too bad. Out of interest, £63 million is what they got. They're still chucking money at us, so that's quite good. That's quite nice to see. We've still got room for improvement by a long way. So this is where we are going to be leaving it here. We'll leave you on this page. 7th position, Europa League 2 once again. Seems to be what we're at all the time. We do come away from this rebuild with 2 trophies. The Carabao Cup and the Euro 2 as well. So hopefully we can win that again in the following season. But we do seem to get a bit of momentum going into the top 7. We can class ourselves as the best of the rest, I think, and getting European football every year, which is even better. We just need more and better players to break into that top 6 monopoly from the guys above us. but we only finished 5 points behind City. Let me know down in the comments, what would you do with the Declan Rice situation? Would you have let him go for £123 million, knowing you're only going to get about 40 to 50% of that, of the transfer revenue? I don't think I'd sell him still at that point. I'd have to make sure I'm on 100% transfer revenue. It has to be in order to let somebody like that go, because you're not going to be able to replace him. Also, let me know, who else would you have let go? Would you have hung on to some of them other players like Souček? Would you have hung on to him? What about Scamacca? Would you have replaced him with a more quality striker? Although I thought he did really well. Let me know also how you get on with this rebuild. If you do one, where did you finish? Did you get many trophies? Are you bossing Europe? We just couldn't get to the Champions League, unfortunately. But if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And we'll see you next time for the next rebuild.